My name is Alan Schneider with Builders Research and azbestagents.com. Today I'm going to show you our latest feature, creating new home marketing flyers that you can post to Facebook, LinkedIn, or send out as an email, or even include as an iframe directly on your own website. If you go to the Builders Research website at buildersresearch.com, go ahead and log in, and you'll see that the menu options up top have changed. We now have a My Marketing option. When you click on that, you'll get a listing of all the flyers in your library. If you haven't created one yet, this will tell you that you don't have any created, but you have the option here with the plus sign to add a new flyer. When you click that, it comes up with a new flyer ID and a blank screen, blank template for you to work with to create your new property flyer. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is give this a name that we can easily recognize it by, because as you go through and create more and more flyers, you're not going to be able to identify them by the number. You're going to want a name in here that's going to quickly identify what that particular flyer is about, so you know whether or not it's one that you maybe need to edit periodically or you're ready to delete. So I'm just going to call this one Gilbert Homes with a date on it. All the options below, we kind of work, when we're designing our flyer, we kind of work from the outside in. So we're going to start with the web background, which when this is displayed on a web page, this is the background color that's going to take up most of the real estate until the actual flyer is going to be displayed. So on the outside of this, I'm going to go ahead and swap it out, and I'm going to do just dark black color. You'll notice when you click in these boxes for the colors, a drop down appears. The region here is for selecting the base color that you want to use. Off to the right, this slider represents the brightness level of that particular color. So for example, if I select blue, up top is the very brightest, down below as you drag it you get to the darker colors of that. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and choose black for this background. The flyer itself has a white background right now. I'm going to go ahead and let's change this to sort of a darker blue, a little bit lighter there. Now the border color is what is going to separate the web background from the background of the flyer. So if I pick a contrasting color white, you can see that now the border between, again, that web background and the flyer background is separated by this white border. These abbreviations RND and TRN, RND stands for round. When you click that, you notice the edges get rounded on that particular element. You have it not only for the overall flyer, but for the headline, description, property, contact info, and so on. I'm going to go ahead and leave that rounded for now. The first bit of information we're going to enter is the headline text, the headline information here. So this particular flyer is going to highlight some homes that I found in a subdivision in Gilbert. So I'm going to put something in here. Great new homes in Gilbert. I have an option to specify the background color. Right now it's white. I'm going to go ahead and change that. So make this kind of a dark red so we get some contrast in here. The border color right now is set to black, but I'm going to change that to white as well. Go ahead and round it. With the darker background and the dark text, it's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to go down to the headline font color, and let's just go ahead and make that white, and you can see that stands out really nice against that red background. I can actually change the font too of what I want my headline to display. For the headlines up top, because it is such a large item, the impact font goes really well. Verdana also goes really well, just depending on your preference, and maybe if you're embedding this in an iframe, you want to keep the same look and feel of your existing website, change these fonts accordingly. But for mine, I'm going to use impact just so I have that bold headline up top. The description block is an area that allows you to type in additional text about the subdivision that you want to present to the potential buyers. So the first line, the headline, grabs their attention. The second part of it is give them a little more information about the homes that you're going to be presenting them in this flyer. So I'm just going to type in something like little bit like that there. When you click out of it, you see it updates the preview. I can now get a general idea of what that's going to look like. The preview is not fully to scale. It's just meant to show you a rough representation of what your flyer color combinations and font combinations are going to look like. So on this one here, for description box, I'm going to go ahead, let's go back to blue, but I'm going to make it a darker blue. And let's go ahead and stick with that white border. So we have the darker background. For this font, I'm going to go ahead and choose Verdana. But it's hard to see again. You get the black font against the dark blue background. So let's go ahead and pick white for the colors. And you can see now that really makes it stand out, makes it easy to see. The property info boxes, depending on the subdivision that you pick, you could maybe have one home, you could have 10 or 12 homes that are going to be listed here. So they're going to be listed in this section outlined by this default gray color right here. But if I come down to the property boxes, for example, I don't want to see that grayish background color. I'm going to go ahead and make it bright white. There we go. The border color, I'll go ahead and leave it black, and I'll go ahead and round the corners. I've got everything rounded corners on this flyer, so might as well make that one rounded as well. The property info font, I maybe want a little larger one. Verdana tends to be a little bit larger by scale than the Arial or Geneva, so I'm going to go ahead and choose that here so that that property information really pops. And I kind of want to change, I don't like to have the basic black and white color scheme, so what I'm going to do here is let's maybe pick a very deep dark reddish color for the property information font color. Your information, as you know, like on AZ Best Agents and so forth, when your information is displayed, we display your photo, we display your broker logo, all of your contact information, your address, your phone number, email links, all of that stuff. So that's all going to be at the bottom of the flyer when it's created. So same options apply. You can select all the borders, the backgrounds, and everything. I'm just going to go ahead and make some changes here so that you can see a good contrast of what's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and make this all black with no border. I won't round it. I'll leave it square. I'll leave it at Arial. And I'm going to change the font though to white, because with a black background, black text will not show up. So actually, let me make the font Geneva so you can see what all three of our font selections look like here. So I'm going to leave it at that. The two options down below exclude homes that do not have a picture or do not have a price. When you select your subdivision, sometimes depending on when the data is released, we may or may not have pricing information for that home, and we may or may not have an elevation or a floor plan picture yet for that particular home. So if you want to leave those off the flyer, you can go ahead and check them. That way when you list that property or list that subdivision, they will not be included in the flyer. So let's get down to the subdivision part here. So what I'm going to do, this is a subdivision that I found in Gilbert Heritage Park. Very nice one. And as soon as I select it, it shows me a preview of the information that's going to be on that flyer. So I've got, everything has a bright, colorful, beautiful picture that goes along with that elevation. I've got all the prices. I've got links to my elevations and floor plans. It's a good number. I've got 6 floor plans here for them to look at. So it's a really good sample for a flyer here. So now that I have all that information filled in, I'm going to go ahead and save my flyer. And when you do that, you can either return to editing or go to view my flyers. When you view your flyer, you can see now here's the Gilbert Homes 1028 that I just created. I have a link right here I can click on if I need to go back and edit some data. The active option, what you can do is if you have a flyer that you've saved, maybe you're halfway done with it or you want to make some changes to it, you're not sure of it yet, don't make it active and it won't show up on any lists. If people try to view it or you've already sent out a link to it or whatever, they'll just get a message saying that the flyer is currently inactive. But go ahead and leave it inactive until it's actually done and ready to publish. But make sure that when you do publish it that you have switched it, otherwise they're going to get that message. Links and codes we'll look at in just a second, but let's look at the web version so we can see what our flyer is going to look like real quick. You can see here we've got the header that I typed in with the color combinations I chose. I've got my description text at the top that I typed in. You can see here all of the elevations show up, from this subdivision. They have really great renderings of the properties, all nice full color, big bold text that they can see everything that is available in that home, the levels, bedrooms, baths, and so forth, with quick links to the floor plans that they can view. So all of that's looking good. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. Here's my information. Remember, I chose black as the background, white text. I've got all of my text here as well as my bio information. You see my broker logo, my photo, phone number, email, web, Facebook link. All of that is all included on this flyer. So everything's looking good from that standpoint. Let's go back to my marketing. So now that that's ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and activate it. And when I do that, this changes to a yes. Now, get links and codes is where you're going to go when you're actually ready to market your flyers. So when I click on that, now I've got some options here. I can view my flyer webpage if I need to take another look at it. If you just want to send out an email, basically, or tweet about this flyer that you've created with these great new homes on it, you can just use this link here, copy and paste that. If you want to embed it on your website as an iframe, you can go ahead and, same thing that you did in the control panel or the My Settings option when you embedded this on your existing website, that when you embedded the new home search, use this similar code and this will embed the flyer that you just created on your website. You can put it on a Facebook page. We've got the step-by-step instructions on how to do that, and putting it on LinkedIn if you have a LinkedIn account. But again, you're not limited to where you can really post that. You can put this on Craigslist. You can tweet about it. Any number of ways that you can think of marketing that particular link back to the flyer. This link here is the one that's going to get that flyer displayed for you. Let's go back to my marketing. Any changes that I need to make to the flyer, again, just click the flyer number, go through, make the changes. The nice thing about our system is that whenever you make a change, it's in real time. So if I went and I made this flyer active and I sent out an email to people letting them know, check out these great new homes, but I realized maybe I had a misspelling in there, or I wanted to add some more information to the description or something, I can click here and edit it, and once you make those changes, they're instant. So if anybody comes on and views that flyer, they're going to see the latest and greatest changes that you've made to it. The other great thing is that this subdivision, as we update our data and as we add new images, they will automatically update your flyer. You don't have to do a thing. So for example, next month, if this price comes in at, say, $280, when people view that flyer now, when they click on that link that they maybe got a couple weeks ago from you, when they visit that again, the new price will be reflected. So all of the information as we change the data will all be reflected in your flyer automatically. There's no additional steps that you have to do. So again, my name is Alan Schneider. If you have any questions about this process, please email us at support@buildersresearch.com. We'd be more than happy to do a go-to meeting with you, step you through this whole process, create a flyer with you, and get things rolling. In the next set of videos, I'm going to cover some basic marketing, what to do a little more in depth after you've created the flyer now. Let's find some great ways to get that out there, get it noticed, and get more people clicking on your site.